Whew. Good day, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day today, and thank you for watching this video. Today we're going to talk about Castlevania Season 4, the newest season and the last season of the series. We haven't done any videos the first three because it came out before we started doing this. Anyways, and we really haven't talked too much about Castlevania, but it was one of my favorite shows that came out on Netflix, and so I just got done basically watching all 10 episodes today of season 4. It was great. I still think, personally just talking, I think season 2 is probably the best season of the Castlevania. Season 3 was pretty good, and this season I feel was better than season 3, but it's not. I still think season 2 was probably the best season of the series. And but yeah, this season I really did enjoy it a lot. Got to see Alucard, I think that's how you pronounce his name correctly, and how his character grew from the last. I mean, at the beginning, hopefully I don't give too much away of the storyline, but at the beginning of this, we see that he's kind of depressed still after what the events that happened in season 3. You know, he still doesn't really trust humans, but he gets himself thrust into a situation where he's actually helping the humans. So we get to see him progress from somebody who's trying to stay isolated, and we get to see his character growth in that form. And then we get to see basically I should slow down here. Basically the beginning of season 4. Our main characters that we're following are kind of at a low point of their lives. They're kind of depressed. Alucard, just because what happened to him at the end of season 3, you know, he thought he got 2 new friends, end up betraying him, and so at this beginning of this season, you see that there's a bunch of people on stakes, you know, who's trying to visit him. You don't know if they try to kill him or what, or if there's this trespassing on his land, but they're dead and they're on stakes. And then we see Belmont and I don't know how to pronounce her name, but we see Belmont and his woman going around doing justices, you know, helping people. But you see that their quest is starting to take a toll on them. Even I want to say Sympha, but I know it ain't right. But even we see her getting kind of depressed, you know. And one thing about her, like, she never really curses at all. And at the beginning, her is starting to use curse words. So yeah, so this definitely is not for younger children with the language and then with the blood and guts. And then so we just see them kind of down and kind of like they're in this rut, and they're just getting kind of tired of always trying to stop these people from bringing Dracula back to life. And they're getting kind of depressed. They're like, oh, it's this, you know, we killed Dracula. Is this what we're going to do for the rest of our lives, preventing people from trying to bring him back to life? Like, so that's kind of how they are at the beginning. And then man, I sure wrote notes, but that's where they are. And then even with Camilla and her group of friends, Camilla seems to be the only one that's really kind of satisfied and happy with where things are going. But her with Nadora, is that how you say her name, the red-headed vampire, she's even kind of depressed. Everybody's kind of on a low point at the beginning because, you know, she's like, well, she's kind of the diplomat, and she's like, well, you know, now we're just going to war, you know, I'm not really needed anymore, so she kind of feeling left out of the gang. And I think of all the vampires, I kind of liked her the most, even though I can't really say her name very well, but she seemed like, you know, while she was bad, she wasn't that bad, and she was trying to do things that were more diplomatic. And during this season, you know, you see her growing with Hector. You know, those two getting close together and working together, and that they actually kind of care for each other, which was pretty good. And then you had the other two, the fighter and the other girl. The 2 lesbians of that core group, and then, you know, they're out there, they're fighting, you know, trying to conquer land, and they're fighting humans, and they come to a realization that, do they really want to be doing that their whole life? They're like these humans forming up together to fight them, just because they don't want to be eaten. And they're like, do we really want to have to quell these rebellions or hope for the rest of our lives? So it's a lot of questioning of the people's motives and what they're doing at that time, at the beginning, and then growing into, growing to something else, changing their plans. And so it's basically about, people, these former allies of Dracula trying to bring him back to life. And it's when you get like an unexpected personage or god, I guess, godlike creature, who's actually the main force behind doing this, and he has his own motives why he wants Dracula back together, back on Earth. And of course, it's for a selfish reason. But I feel like I am kind of disappointed in some ways, and I guess might be because of my expectations. I was expecting something different than what was actually on the screen. I was expecting Camilla fighting the Isaac character. I mean, I guess it's a minus. They do clash, but I was expecting something more grander and more prolonged. And then it was. Of course, the fighting scenes are really great. The art is really great, just like they are, just like the past seasons. And then, I expected something more of that. I wasn't really expecting so much of, people try and bring Dracula back from the dead. But I guess I should have expected that, considering it is Castlevania, and that's basically the storyline of Castlevania evolves revolves around Dracula. And so I was, I was just hoping that part of the storyline would be over, because season 3 kind of basically, for the most part, moved away from that storyline, but season 4 kind of brings it back, and it's basically what it's mainly about. Was hoping it would be more about Camilla and her group trying to expand and take over the world, and having Belmont fight them. So unfortunately that wasn't the case, which was kind of disappointing. Like I said, I was kind of disappointed that I was wanting to see that, and just seeing how with Belmont and Belmont and his girl, man, I want to say, I can never pronounce her name, but facing Camilla, and seeing how Isaac played a role in this, and seeing Isaac and Hector go head to head, in which we don't really get to see it, so I was kind of disappointed in that. However, I think the ending, I think you would be satisfied with the ending. The ending really does wrap everything up. I was also kind of hoping maybe, I knew this was the last season of Castlevania, but I was hoping maybe there would be like a Castlevania and follow like a different storyline or a different character, like a different Belmont in the future or something. But I don't really know if that's going to happen. I haven't really been reading any news or any future plans, so I don't have any inside information on that. But I don't feel like feel like this really is the last season of Castlevania. I don't think they're going to explore any other characters. It's the way that it ended. They wrapped everything up nicely in a nice bow tie. Still don't really. The only one that's kind of a cliffhanger-ish is Isaac's storyline. Just because I don't know. Isaac's storyline is probably the only one that's kind of out there hanging. What he's going to do. I guess they could do another series based around Isaac, but if they're going to follow future generations of Belmont, I don't know how that's possible, because Isaac's mortal. But yeah, so I think the script was well written. I think it's really well done. Not as good as season 2, but better than season 3. It's probably the second best season, in my opinion. Right up there, probably right, a little bit better than season 1, I would think. The conclusion's great. I think you enjoyed the conclusion, and seeing how these characters progress. I think it's they really do good from the beginning to end. You can actually see, you actually do get some character development as they go along the season. You get to meet some really good, cool new characters. Some are good, some are bad. Bad guys, good guys type of thing, and some are really everlasting. And then I think Alucard gets a really good. His ending, I think, is really good, and yeah, so I think you enjoy it. I recommend it, especially if you're an adult. It's definitely aimed at the older audience, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And again, we're grateful for watching our videos. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye.